Hey guys, we're here with Matt and Imad, who finished top 32 both at YCS Niagara with Rescues. I understand your list is pretty much identical, so might as well do the profiles together. What are your thoughts on this deck for the format?
Oh, this deck's crazy. So, initially, when I was testing out the decks that I want to play for this event, I ruled out a lot of the very current popular picks very early. Decks like U-Bell, decks like Fire King, because I felt that they weren't well positioned to the meta, because we expected a lot of Shifter, a lot of Furos, and the decks that could play those, such as, Tempai, right? So, as a result, when I was going down my list of what I wanted to play, I got to Rescue Ace, and the more I played it, the more I was like, this deck's insane. It's crazy, right?
My thoughts were kind of going into a newer format, and we had no idea what to expect. So I figured out that we play like a better engine deck. As you see in the deck profile, there's a lot of engine and a lot of very little non-engine. Because the engine just pushes through so many things, and then once we resolve the turbulence, it's just over.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's get right to the list then.
Yeah. So I'm going to be showing my list, but the differences, Imad will chime in and he'll let everyone know like what he played different and why. So standard, 1 lifter. I wish this was at 3, but Konami. 2 hydrant. You stop playing 3 because we're not playing Fiendsmith in this deck, and as a result, hydrant is no longer a 1-card combo for anything, and as a result, you don't actually want to open this unless it's in good combinations with other engine pieces. So 2, I think, was the appropriate number. We played 3 Impulse. There's 6 cards with Impulse in the name of it in my deck, but this card was insane. Every time I saw it, sometimes you want to draw 2, because you would drop 1 on your opponent's turn, and then you would have another one to drop on your
This card is probably the best card in the Rescues engine. Like, I almost just beat Santiago on top 32 just with this card. Like, it was insane.
The card's insane. It gets you follow-up. Sometimes it gets you interruptions. Like, I had a game where I opened the Fire Engine in my hand, and I went Impulse, Tribute, summon the Preventer, and because this triggers on summon, I was able to summon this, which gets me follow-up, and then I also had an interruption on their first turn without having to use hand traps. So it was great. I loved it a lot. And then for the big machines, we played 1 Fire Engine, 2 Preventer, 1 Turb. The second Turb was a bit of a contention, but I think that 1 was fine. There's nothing that like really snipes this randomly anymore, like face down, and so it's like super easy to get it from wherever. And while sometimes, like if you have a very like engine heavy hands, you do want to open it to like play through hand traps, I thought that 1 was good enough because I didn't want to club it.
I think the ratio was perfect. All the ratio of these cards was just perfect.
So that's the Rescue Ace names, and then for spells, I played 2 emergency. Matt played 3.
So I played the third one because in his deck you showed the Callby.
Yeah. So the 1 card difference that we're playing in the main deck is I played a Callby instead.
So I played the 3rd emergency over the Callby because the deck if you have a 6-card engine hand, like this is probably one of the best cards to open in an all engine hand. So I just wanted to see it.
Yeah. So the thing that's really important about emergency is that this is what helps you beat Furos and Shifter, because when you see it in combination with any Rescue Ace name, you can chain it immediately to, because a lot of people I was playing against were shotgunning Furos or shotgunning, you always shotgun Shifter. So as a result, you need this to be able to turn set 4 under Shifter. But if you don't have that, it's really hard to get to your win condition. But we do play some stuff on the side to kind of get around Tenpai, dropping Shifter, the draw phase every time. So I thought 2 was fine. I think if I played this deck again, I would play 2 again. We played 1 Alert, 1 Rescue, very standard. 1 HQ. This card's insane.
I think it's a lot of rogue matchups, so I use this card like crazy. I know he played against a lot of more meta.
Yeah, I played mostly meta, but there were a lot of games where when you're playing through your turn, your opponent is going to throw as many hand traps as they can because it is a hand trap format, and as a result, sometimes having access to this just wins the game. Because like I had games where I would get 2 bodies on board, and after they hand trap me multiple times, and they'll like Dominus Impulse your Rescues, Turbulence in hand. But if you have this, you can just Tribute 2 and just hard summon it, and then just you win because you set 4. So I was very happy with it. It's crazy in the grind. Like if this resolves to shuffle 4, you win the game like on the spot. So it was good. And then we just played the 2 regular traps in the main. So 1 Extinguish, 1 Contain. They did their job. It was very good. I had no problems with it. And then I played the reinforcement of the army so that we have 2 cups of lifter, but also because in the games where you open lifter, and I opened the lifter a lot this weekend. Like I want to say like 5 or 6 times.
I open up a lot too.
Yeah. But when you open like Rota and lifter, you can just scrap impulse.
I always cited this card out though, but I saw a lot of Droll, so
I saw Droll once. Yeah. And then I played the Callby as we discussed earlier. Yeah. And then for the Snake Eye Azamina stuff, we played 3 Wanted, 2 Witch. which is technically the worst starter in this deck because it doesn't get you a free draw. It kind of negs you really hard initially too, and it doesn't trade well with hand traps. So we decided to play. You can't play 1 because if it gets Bestialed or it like randomly just gets sniped by something, you are dead in the water. So I was very happy with just playing 2. 1 was crazy. Every time I saw it, I was very happy unless I was shifted. We played the 3 Bonfire and the Poplar. Initially, I wasn't playing Bonfire and Poplar. He was, but I was initially playing a much slimmer list. But as I was testing more, and I was talking, shout out to Kevin, by the way. Hello. The more we discussed that, because Kevin played the same list as me card for card. The more we realized that if we're gonna play with engine to just push through boards with limited non-engine, you need to have as many pushes as you can. And Bonfire is just another push. It baits interactions. It gets you to engine. It does so much. So you have to play it.
If you open a 6-card engine hand, this is the card you want to see in your engine in your hand. Like it just pushes through insane amount of stuff.
Yeah, I accepted that if they droll me, they droll me. That's life. But it was crazy. I loved it. And then the 1 OSS because you need it for the rest of the stuff. And then we played 3 Deception, and the Hallowed. This card was fine. I actually loved I opened this quite a few times, and because you're playing so many Sinful spoil cards, sometimes you just start first action Hallowed, and your opponent goes, oh, and you just have a negate on board.
You open this and Water together,
the game's over. Yeah, it's crazy. This card was decent. I forgot to reset it a couple times when they hand trapped me to death, but I think it only mattered in 1 game. This card is kind of the weakest starter because it trades poorly into Retaliating Sea. It trades poorly into you're always going -1 initially, and if they Ash or if they Dominus this, you can't get to your Azamina stuff for the rest of the duel. So it was fine and it did its job, which was just baiting hand traps for the most part. So I thought it was okay. Shoutouts to Cecilia, who I lost to a top cut, who sided in Retaliating Sea. And what I did was, instead of going, so my hand, that game was, I opened Witch, and I went Witch, immediately set this instead because I was afraid of Retaliating Sea. And then when I flipped it, suddenly I have Engine, and I can full combo still, because even with the Retaliating Sea. But if I had started this, set this, I lose the game on the spot, because when you chain Retaliating Sea to this, they both get banished, and you get nothing. You just lose the game on the spot. It's crazy. It's so bad.
That's crazy. I think I hit my Retaliating Sea, but that's crazy.
Yeah. One of the things I did a lot was when you open just Witch as your realistic engine, you never want to actually set this because any one hand trap's gonna stop you no matter what. So you want a way to have the best follow-up as possible, and this is always the best follow-up, right? Because you just banish it on the next turn, put back the Witch, grab your Hydrant or your Poplar, and you just play, right?
Yeah, a lot of times if I open up Switch, I just set the OSS. Deception is basically only if you drew it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. So I'm happy that we played 3. I did have a list actually until Wednesday where I was playing 1 because I didn't want to see it going second. But you need it so much for those extra.
You just set out 2. You just set out 2 or something just going second.
Yeah. I side out 2 when I go second. And then the non-engine, we didn't play a lot of it. We only played 12, but we played I think the best 12.
Only?
Yeah. 3 Ash because it's good for Tempai, and also because you hit Mulchummies, it hits everything in the game.
Also, Sunlight Wolf add back. That's the crazy part of this card, right?
I never got to do that actually.
I did that 3-4 times. This is crazy.
But we do play Sunlight Wolf, so in theory you can Ash and Mulchummy, and then later if you do your full combo and you have 1 extender, you can make the Sunlight Wolf, add this back, and you now have another Ash.
I hit Kevin with it. I hit Kevin's for us and added it back.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin again. Sorry, man. Yeah. Then we played the best 6 the best 6 trap hand traps. Dominus Impulse and Infinite Impermanence. This is why I didn't play Fiendsmith. This card is so good. It's just another 3 copies of Ash, except it doesn't trigger talents, it doesn't trigger thrust. It stops random weird stuff. You can hit Flame Burst effects to summon 2 from grave. You can hit anything. It's so good. I feel when you're playing a limited number or non-engine, you have to play cards that get the most value in any matchup. And these 9 were very good.
Opening one of each of these is just insane. It's like an SDK.
Yeah, if you open Imperm and Dominus, I don't think I could ever lose any of those games. Because once you get the Trap Engrave, which is also very easy because you're playing your Rescue Ace engine, which lets you have the Traps Engrave as well. And because I'm not playing a single light monster in my deck, actually I'm not even playing a single earth monster. We're only playing wind monsters on the side, and that's it.
I think the only thing that convicts the impulse in our whole deck is something in our side, which is for Ross. That's it.
That's it, right? So this is always live, so I keep it in hand, and even if they have Lightning Storm, even if they clear your board, you still have like this, and you just kind of win off that like so much. So this was crazy against Tempai, you know, like because you like against Tempai, if you have like 2 of these, unless they have exactly normal Chundra, which sometimes they do, you beat any push they have because you can stop both of us.
I don't know if you got evenly, Matt, but this weekend I got evenly the one time by a Centurion player. I had Rescue's Impulse and Dom's Impulse in my hand. So like I just played through this evenly. He hit me for like 6 cards off evenly.
It's crazy. And then the last non-engine we played was the best non-engine Super Poly. This card was insane. It's crazy. Oh, it's crazy going first. It's crazy going first. It's crazy going second. This auto wins the mirror match. It destroys any of the U-Belt players who are playing the escape because this trades for the Varudras and the Rage. So they have 0. They basically you kill 6 interactions with this and 1 discard. So it was very, very strong. And like stopping the targeting protection is also super focused. But for the most part, I only ever summon Mudragon. But I did summon Guru a couple times, and like the draws are also very important.
So for this card, like he's the one who came up to me and said, "Yo, we're playing this card," and I wasn't sure about it at first. I was on Droplet, then I was playing Crow, and then after a couple turns, I was like, you know what, this card is insane, and we just decided to play it. It's just insane all weekend.
Every time I saw it, I was like, oh, I win this game. So, all right, for the side deck or
Extra deck?
Yeah.
Extra deck, we have the same extra deck.
Yeah, extra same. 1 Anima because you're playing decks with level 1. 1 Sunlight Wolf. I did not like this card. I know Ahmad summoned it.
I summoned like almost every single match I summoned.
Everyone yelled at me to play this card. I did not like it. I think that this should have been either Underworld Goddess or Typhon. Either one could have been in, but I think that it should not be Sunlight Wolf. The Hida, the Dark, just Charmers. You use a Snake Eye player's graveyard better than they use their own graveyard. So you're just pulling out their Snake Eye cards and their Deep Elster cards, and you're using it to push your own engine. It's fantastic. The Phoenix, because you need to clear back. This deck has a very hard time dealing with back rows, so you need a card that can also get bad cards out of your hand.
Also, because it's fire.
Yeah, it's a fire link. You need this for the Raging Zealantis OTK on an empty board, so it was very good. 1 IP. I think I summoned this once.
I did 1 time as well.
It might be cuttable. I wasn't very impressed with it, but
I think we need to keep it just because if we get 4 Ross, we need to have some sort of half board.
I think that's also reasonable. We played 2 Little Knight because you make 1 on your own turn and then you make 1 on the next turn if you can't kill them. You have to play 2 in this deck because you are sometimes I make 2 in 1 turn. So it's super
it is Hex Turb, mixed Turb Resolve. That's all we need.
Because if you sit on Turb and this, if they imperm on Turb, you just banish both and you still set 4. And if they imperm preemptively, you make the Promethean instead, summon back the Turb, and you do it anyways, right? So crazy. It was very good. So I played the Promethean. This card was crazy. Raging Zealantis. Just for the OTK stuff.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I need to explain it. Then for the Super Poly targets, we played the 2. I was discussing playing Dragus the Paley at one point, but the problem is that if you fuse away a Desiree and a Varudras, the Desiree immediately trades with the Dragus Tapelia, so I didn't want to do that because it gives you no value. So I think these were fine.
Yeah, those were good, yeah.
I don't think I'd play a different set of Super Poly targets. And then the last 2 were just these 2. This is the Negate. This card was broken. It's even more broken when your opponent uses it because they'll tribute it and then you'll rescue it back and you get your own Negate, or you dark it and you get your own Negate. You just take them. It's nice. This
one
one
I think came up for me was if it got destroyed, you get to search a switch for a spoils card. I actually didn't know that until I started playing the deck this weekend.
Yeah. And then this one is just it just searches any simple spoils card. It's so good. But I try not to play too hard into specific cards like Retaliating Sea. So I summoned this a lot, especially when I already had Engine. But I think I only summoned this a couple times. So it was good though. And then the side deck, which I think is the biggest difference between the 2 of us. We both played 3 Fulos. This card was crazy because, especially in a deck where like Rescuers, where you're playing a heavy engine count, you want to have as many cards in your hand because when you have like 8-9 cards, you break almost any board, right? So a card like this, which forces your opponent to either play into a weaker board or draw or give you like 5 draws, you're fine either way, right? Because you break weak boards like super easy with like 4 cards in hand. Like even if they give you no draws, you'll break their boards if they're weak, right? And if they start playing and give you the draws, you're gonna break through the board regardless because you have 15 million cards in your hand and you just win the game, right? So it was very good. Every time I saw it, I won. So I was very happy with it. We both played 3 Thrust. Thrust was for very, very specific things. The times I saw it, I won the game. I was very happy with it. And then for the thrust targets, we played DDG for the we played DDG for like the Snake Eye deck and the Bluebell deck. Yeah. I never saw this. It was fine. And then for Tempai, we played Threatening Roar because if you debarrier them, they might have crossed out. They can kill you through debarrier as well. So we wanted a card that definitively said, skip your Tempai opponent's turn, and you win. Right? I had one of my Tempai opponents pick up the card, read it, and go, who plays this? Right? Like, and it was crazy the one time I saw it. Right? The third trap we played, not quite a thrust target.
Power outage.
Not quite a thrust target, but we played the reinforcement side. This is for Tempai as well, because what we do is we side out the one contain in the main deck for the reinforce, so that when you set reinforce off the turbulence, you make your turbulence a 4500 unaffected by monster effects monster. So it helps increase your chance of surviving. It's also good into the breaker decks like Ritual Beast because they will hit you with an evenly. At the start of the battle phase, you reinforce your turb so it's unaffected, and then you SP banish your guys, right, or against like lightning storm stuff, and it helps because you can banish this from your grave to reset a quick play spell, and if you have Hydrogen on board, you can then immediately also use it as a form of interruption. I thought this was good the one time I saw it. Sometimes you can also just do it to push for game.
I usually study in going first against any grindier matchup, rogue matchup. It's just because you just want to have the recursion coming back if this feels well.
It was very good. So here's what the difference is. So I played 3 Dogwood and 3 Phantasme.
Okay, and I played 3 Cosmic, 2 Perilia, and the Called By.
So my logic was because the problem with the engine decks is that you take a while to like break the board and kill your opponent, and also like play through like really like complex boards. I wanted a way to win in time if the games took too long. I sided this in one time in Top Cut against Ritual Beast, and that was it. So this could have been anything, I think. Probably should have been Cosmic, because my only loss in Swiss was to Runic Stun. So shoutouts to him. Phantasme was crazy. It does a very similar job to Perilia in most matchups, but in exchange you're also getting a body, and the targeting protection is very important. I dropped it against I played a mirror, shoutouts to Joey, where I dropped this, right, and like it's so hard for him to like try to out my board on his turn because I have this to protect and like negate destroy something.
I played Perilia. I was expecting more rogue matchups, which honestly I played a lot of rogue. So like this all was like very good. Obviously Call By Saturday going first. But yeah, this actually came up for me a few times. So that was my only difference.
Yeah. Overall, I was very happy with the list. I'm very happy that 2 of the 3 of us, because we all basically put the same list. Shouts to Kevin again.
Sorry, Kevin, I knocked him out.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, we all played basically the same list. So yeah. I'm very happy that 2 of the 3 of us topped. The deck was very good. I really liked it the whole weekend. I think I only bricked once.
I bricked twice. Once was against Kevin, of course.
Yeah.
And then I bricked against the one you will play our lost is Swiss. But yeah, honestly, guys, this deck is actually insane. Like it's not an easy deck to play either.
Yeah.
Like you have to have the reps to play this deck well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congrats again. Thanks for the deck profiles. Any shout-outs?
Sure. Yeah, so I have quite a few. So I'll get them real quick. Shoutouts to Sam for lending me the bonfires and the wanteds because I didn't have any. Shoutouts to David for lending me the thrusts because I don't have any. Shoutouts to Kevin, Yongho, Tommy, Josh, Rayhan, and Chair because we roomed with them. We had a good weekend. Shoutouts to the Council Robina for helping me test and build the deck. Shoutouts to the Untouched guys, you know who you are. And then shoutouts to Andrew, Ryan, and Willie.
Wow.
My shoutouts are to the Rubina Discord. Obviously, like me and Ham are in the same Discord. I have the Hamilton crew. They know Thomas, Steve, Lucas, Steven Gerard. They know their and anybody else who missed in Hamilton. I love you guys. You guys are the best.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Take care.